Hi everyone, this is Lorena Freya, and welcome to Journey into Witchcraft. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about Imbolc. So, when is Imbolc celebrated? In the Northern Hemisphere, Imbolc is celebrated on February 1st or 2nd. In 2023, this date is going to be February 1st. In the Southern Hemisphere, Imbolc is celebrated on August 1st or 2nd. Some of the themes of Imbolc include quickening, hope, renewal, fertility, purification, hearth and home, and return of the light. So, what exactly is Imbolc? That's a really good question. To answer this, I am actually going to read a passage from the book Wicca, The Wheel of the Year by Lisa Chamberlain. It says, although the spring equinox is our modern designation for the official beginning of spring, it was Imbolc that traditionally heralded the end of winter in the pagan world. As the midpoint of the traditional dark half of the year, which begins to Samhain and ends with Beltane, Imbolc marks the time when the grip of winter begins to soften and the earth starts to come back to life. For people who live in northern climates where snow and ice dominate the landscape, this is truly a celebration of hope and possibility as the light grows stronger each day and subtle signs of the coming of spring begin to emerge. The days are noticeably longer now as the sun god's power begins to grow. Among different Wiccan traditions, he is described variously as an infant nursing at the goddess's breast and as a young boy making his way towards maturity. Either way, he is a waxing presence in the sky, higher and more visible with each passing day. The goddess, in the form of Earth, is stirring from her wet rest following the birth of the god. We see his manifesting as the frozen ground begins to thaw. Crocuses, the daffodils, poke through the surface, and the first birds pass through on their return migration from the southern climates. This is the time when the threefold aspect of the goddess shifts from crone back into maiden, as the air takes on a hint of youthful energy in the anticipation of warmer days just around the corner. Our ancestors paid close attention to these early signs of spring. In fact, in the earliest days, the actual date of festival would have been determined by them. For example, once the blackthorns came into bloom. The cross quarter day was a time for weather divination in many cultures. In Celtic lore, the length of the winter was determined by the divine hag, Kylie, who would come out to gather the last of her firewood. If she wanted to make the winter last longer, she would make bright sunny weather on Imbolc. This way, she would enjoy a long day of gathering plenty of wood. If she slept through the day, the weather would be gloomy and cold, and the people would know that winter was nearly over. Imbolc also marks the beginning of the agricultural season, as the soil is being readied for the first planting and herd animals prepare to give birth. Farmers make needed repairs to their equipment before the season starts in earnest, and rituals for blessing tools and seeds are held at this time, a tradition going back for centuries, if not longer. In every aspect for life, for humans, animals, and plants, it's time to start moving around again for the long winter's rest. The name Imbolc itself comes from the ancient Irish and has been translated as in the belly, referring to the pregnancy of ooze. A related name for the holiday is Oimel, meaning ewe's milk, though this name seems more in use by modern pagans than it was by ancient Celts. These milk-producing livestock were crucial for survival for rural people in pre-modern times, especially at this point in winter when food stores might be running low or completely empty. So the onset of lambing season was definitely an occasion for celebration. Purification is another central focus at Imbolc, stemming from the oldest days when dwellings had to be shut tight against the cold for months, and bathing was very infrequent activity. At the first sign of thaw, it was time to throw open the doors, cleanse the house of the stuffy, stale air, and jump into the nearest body of water. Sunlight was also a purifying force, a manifestation of the element of fire, and was taken advantage of as much as possible, renewing the body and the spirit. So, what exactly is Brighid's role in Imbolc, and why do some people call it Brighid's Day? On Imbolc Eve, Brighid was said to visit the households of those who invited her and bestow blessings on the inhabitants. Various customs for inviting her were practiced throughout the lands where she was worshipped. The most common included making her bed out of a basket with white bedding and making a straw doll like figure of a breed called a bridog. These corn dollies, as they were also called, were carried from door to door so each household could offer a gift to the goddess. Families would have a special meal and save some of the food and drink to leave outside for Breed, along with some clothing or strips of cloth for her to bless. The following morning, the family would inspect the ashes of the smored fire for any marks that showed Breed had indeed entered the house. The cloth would be brought back inside, now imbued with healing and protective powers. Breed's crosses were also made from stalks of wheat, formed into a square, an equilateral cross, or an ancient protection symbol resembling a counterclockwise swastika that was found in various cultures throughout the ancient world. These were hung over the entrances of homes and stables to protect the household from fire, lightning, and any threat to the animals in the harvest. The crosses would be left hanging throughout the year until the following Imbolc, and are still used in some places today. So, how can we celebrate Imbolc? Fire plays a big role in most Wiccan Imbolc traditions. At coven celebrations, a high priestess may wear a crown of lit candles or carry tapers during ritual. This is done in honor of the goddess stepping into her maiden aspect and the god's growth into boyhood. Candles are lit in each room of the house to welcome the sun. Bonfires are held if the weather is fair, and any evergreen decorations from the Yule Sabbat are burned as a way of letting go of the past season or even the past year. For Wiccans, Breed's status as a fire goddess makes her an appropriate deity to be recognized on this Sabbath that celebrates the return of the sun. You can honor her in a variety of ways by visiting a natural spring or holy well and making offerings, cleaning and purifying your home, lighting candles for her at your altar, or even engaging in writing or other creative activities. Try making a or to place at your altar and make a breed bed for her to rest in. If you made a corn mother for llamas last year, you can repurpose it, dressing her this time in white, yellow, or pink. The bed can be a small basket, a wooden box, or even a well-decorated shoebox. Just be sure to make it comfortable and attractive with blankets and flowers, ribbons, etc. Place your brujog in the bed near your hearth or altar. Some traditions leave a small wand with her, which she can use to bless your home. You can also make your own breed's cross to hang over your doorway. Other traditional Imbolc activities include going for walks or hikes to look for signs of spring in the surrounding countryside, taking a ritual bath for physical and energetic purification, and decorating and blessing farm equipment for the coming season. Placing a besom or ritual broom by the front door symbolizes sweeping out the stale energy of winter and allowing fresh new energy to enter your home and life. As with all cross-quarter Sabbats, a special feast is a great idea, particularly on February 1st or Imbolc Eve. Bringing food to those in need after a long winter, such as homeless shelters and elderly shut-ins, is an excellent way to raise abundance energy for your community. Finally, Imbolc is a good time to perform self-dedication rituals or to undergo coven initiation if you're in the position to do so. If you would like to make an altar specifically for Imbolc, here are some of the correspondences. The colors for Imbolc are red, white, yellow, and pink. The crystals are going to be garnet, ruby, onyx, bloodstone, and amethyst. Herbs are angelica, basil, bay leaf, myrrh, coltsfoot, and heather. Flowers are snowdrops, violets, crocus, daffodils, and forsythia. Incense are myrrh, cinnamon, violet, wisteria, jasmine, and vanilla. Some altar decorations and symbols include white flowers, potted bulbs, breed's cross, brajag, sheep, cows, plows, cauldron, poems or poetry book, candles or candle wheel. And some food include pumpkin and flower seeds, poppy seed pastries, dairy products, and early spring vegetables. So these would also be really good for any of you kitchen witches that love to make baked goods. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Again, for any of my listeners, if you want the transcription, guys, just go to my blog. It's lorenafreya.wordpress.com. I do have some pictures of the Brujog as well as the Breed's Cross so that you guys can see examples of those. As well as the full transcription of this episode on there. I do have a Facebook page. It's Journey into Witchcraft. You can follow me on Instagram at Lorena Freya. And I am also on Twitter at Lorena Freya. That is LORENAFREYJA. Thanks again. Have a good night.